There are more than 400 universities in Germany. That's a crazy number when you think about it. How on earth are you supposed to pick the right one? It's honestly overwhelming for students, so let me break down everything you need to know about the university system in Germany. And I think sometimes we get too much caught up in the rankings and the prestige, but understanding the system itself is what really matters. First things first, the rankings. I know a lot of you guys care about this kind of stuff, and it is not necessarily wrong. Rankings give you a rough estimate, an idea about the university quality of education, but it is not the whole picture, especially in Germany. Here is what might surprise you. Germany is actually killing it in the global rankings with at least 48 universities in the top 1500. It is pretty impressive for a non-English speaking country, especially when you consider the fact that it is only behind countries like the UK and the US. The TUM University, which is the Technische Universität of Munich, is actually leading the pack in the QS rankings at number 28 globally. But here's the thing about these fancy international rankings. They focus heavily on research output and reputation, but they don't really measure the teaching quality, or as they say in German, Lehrqualität. So please don't base your entire decision on these rankings alone. What's interesting in Germany is that they don't really obsess over these rankings like some other countries do. There's an official national ranking system, but it's not seen as the full picture. Why? Because in Germany, all universities have to meet strict requirements and quality standards set by the state, and it is called Akkreditierung. It's basically a quality guarantee stamp. So even the smaller universities that you have never heard of, like the one I'm attending, still have to meet those pretty high standards and requirements. I think that's cool. Here's where it gets actually interesting. Germany doesn't just have universities, they have 4 different types of higher education institutions, and understanding this is super important for finding your right fit. First up, the classic universities or Universitäten. These are your traditional research powerhouses, and they offer a complete package: bachelor, master's programs, and PhD. Everything from medicine to physics and even to philosophy. They are very theoretical and they offer a lot of lectures, a big focus on research, and they have massive student populations. For example, the TUM or the University of Munich has almost 53,000 students. Then you have the universities of applied sciences like the one I'm attending, which are called Fachhochschulen, and they are way more hands-on on practicals and they focus on real-world applications. They have typically small class sizes like 40 to 100 usually, and they offer a lot of industry projects. They are especially strong in fields like engineering, business, and social sciences, and about 40% of students in Germany actually study in this type of institutions. They offer bachelor and master programs, and even in some cases PhD. Now, if music or art is your thing, there are specialized colleges which are typically called Kunst- und Musikhochschulen. They are very selective and small in numbers. They have very tough entrance requirements, and they have intense practical trainings. You usually have to submit your portfolio, and you also need to pass an aptitude test in order to get admission in these universities. These are typically called colleges of art. And here's something that is uniquely German: the dual universities, which are called dual studium. You combine studying with actual work at a company, and you are literally earning while you are learning. It is intense, no free time, but you graduate with both experience and degree. So you're not going to get caught up in the paradox of needing experience in order to get a job and needing a job in order to get experience. Pretty much it's a very smart system if you ask me, and I really enjoy it. Now let's talk about money. This is where it gets really interesting. Germany's public universities, where 90% of students are studying, are mostly tuition free, even for international students. You will have to pay a small semester fee, usually between 85 to 250 euros, and this will typically also include free public transportation ticket, where you can travel all around the country without paying transportation if you follow the regulations. So Germany has over 20,000 study programs at public institutions, so these options are massive. Now let's talk about private universities, which are completely different. They usually charge anywhere between 3,000 to 20,000 per year, but they will offer some more perks like English classes, French classes in some cases, and they are better facilities and specialized in programs. Only about 10% of students go to these private universities though. Here's actually something that you need to keep in mind. One state, Baden-Württemberg, actually does charge international students around 1,500 euros per semester at the public university. That includes places like Heidelberg and Karlsruhe, and this is still cheaper than most countries though. So what about international students? Germany is actually becoming super popular, especially in the latest statistic that shows nearly 500,000 international students, and that's about 16% of all the students in Germany, and the number keep growing. India overtook China as the top source of these international students with almost 50,000 Indian students. Most international students still choose traditional universities over the applied sciences one, with over 2/3 choosing the traditional universities one. So what about the English programs? They're definitely increasing. Over 500 degree programs are now entirely taught in English. Some of them are mixed, and the master's program especially. But finding the full bachelor program is still very tricky, and it will actually be very rare for some fields and very popular for some other fields like computer science. One thing about degrees in Germany is that the qualifications are recognized worldwide. So the bachelor will actually take 3 to 4 years to finish, and the master's will take 1 to 2 years. PhD is actually the beefier one here that takes around 3 to 5 years, and for regulated professions like medicine, law, you need to pass a STAT exam, which is a special state examination. Here's what's really cool. In Germany, it doesn't matter which university you go to, the quality is pretty consistent, high across the board. Whether you are in a top-ranked university like TUM or in a smaller Fachhochschule, you are getting solid education, and your career prospect depends on how good you are, not how good the university where you study was. Graduates from applied sciences often have a starting salary of around 45 to 50,000 euros, especially in fields like engineering and IT. Not bad at all. Now let's try to answer the question about what is the best university for you. I think it is one that fits your goal and your learning style. Think about what matters to you. Practical experience or theoretical knowledge, big city or small town, German or English, research opportunity, or even industry connections. Remember, getting high quality education in Germany isn't difficult. It's widely available across universities, and you just need to find the right match for you. So do your homework. Think about what you really want from your university education, and don't get too caught up in the rankings. The German system will offer something for everyone. You just need to know where to look. I love you guys, and good luck in your search. Cheers.